The weight of the week pressed down on my shoulders as I turned my key in the lock. Double shifts, barely any sleep, living on coffee and vending machine sandwiches since Marcus quit without notice. All I wanted was my couch, maybe some takeout, and Sarah beside me. What I got instead was bass-heavy music vibrating through my front door. I stepped inside and froze. My living room had transformed into something unrecognized. Bodies everywhere. At least 15 people I'd never seen before, red Solo cups littering every surface. A massive wine spill spread across my white carpet like a bloodstain. A stranger was sprawled unconscious in my recliner, mouth open, one shoe missing. This wasn't the first time. When I first met Sarah's kids, Brandon and Melissa, I thought they were typical 20-somethings finding their way. Brandon was 23, working part-time. Melissa was 25, doing marketing downtown. Sarah's eyes lit up whenever she talked about them, and I wanted to embrace her whole life, kids included. It started innocently. Brandon would text Sarah around 10 at night, asking to swing by with friends. Sarah would always say yes, glowing with that particular joy parents get when their adult children still want to be around. I understood it. I didn't want to come between a mother and her kids, but every weekend turned into twice a week. Then 3 times. Then I stopped counting. The first time I really noticed something was off, I came home on a Wednesday afternoon to find Melissa in my kitchen, cooking pasta for what looked like half a sorority. She glanced up, gave me a casual, oh hey, and went right back to her story. Like my kitchen was a public space. Sarah was at her pottery class. I texted her, trying to keep my tone light. She replied that Melissa had a rough day and needed to be around people. I didn't push it. I told myself I was being flexible, understanding. Really, I was just avoiding conflict. Then Brandon started bringing his girlfriend Amber around. That's when things shifted from annoying to infuriate. Amber treated my home like a hotel where she'd left a bad review but kept staying anyway. Dirty shoes on the coffee table. Wet towels draped over my leather furniture. Music blasting at 11:30 on Tuesday nights when I had to be up at 5. When I asked Brandon to keep the volume down, he'd nod absently and say, yeah, for sure, man, but nothing ever changed. I found myself becoming someone I didn't like. Tense in my own home. Checking the driveway when I pulled up, hoping I wouldn't see Brandon's beat-up Honda. Walking through my front door with my shoulders already raised, bracing for whatever I'd find. 3 weeks ago, everything came to a head. I'd worked 6 doubles in 8 days, covering for Marcus and training his replacement. My body ached. My eyes burned. I've been fantasizing all day about my couch, about silence. Instead, I walked into chaos. The music hit me first, then the smell of beer and too many bodies. The living room was packed with strangers. That wine stain on the carpet, already setting, probably permanent. Empty bottles lined my kitchen counter, and Brandon was behind my bar cart, mixing drinks, playing bartender with my expensive whiskey. I found Sarah upstairs in our bedroom, noise-canceling headphones on, scrolling through her phone with a tight expression. When she saw me, guilt flashed across her face. She said the kids had just shown up, that she didn't know they were bringing so many people, that she didn't know how to ask them to leave without seeming unwelcoming. Something in me cracked. I went downstairs and walked straight to the speaker. The silence after I turned it off felt like a physical presence. Every face turned toward me. I could feel their judgment, their annoyance at the old guy ruining their good time. Brandon opened his mouth, already forming some excuse, but I spoke first. My voice came out calmer than I felt. I told everyone who didn't pay rent here to leave. Now, Brandon's face flushed. He said they weren't doing anything wrong, just hanging out. I looked at the wine stain, at the bottles, at the stranger still passed out in my chair. I said hanging out doesn't include treating someone's home like a nightclub. Melissa appeared from somewhere, mascara smudged, voice sharp. She said I was being dramatic, that her mom said this was fine. That's when something inside me snapped. I told her this was my house. Meaning, that being an adult means understanding boundaries and asking permission before taking over someone else's space. That if they want to party, they had their own apartments, or they could find a bar like everyone else their age. Amber stepped forward, her voice dripping with contempt. She said I was being cruel, that I clearly had control issues. I turned to her and felt every ounce of my exhaustion convert into words.